everyone, it's Noor and welcome back to my channel. You read the title, right? And it is literally what it says. These things that I'm going to be listing in this video are going to change your life. And they're pretty much based on what I've personally learned, what I've been through from listening to other people. I kind of gathered the most important things that genuinely changed my life. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing that's going to change your life is changing your mindset. This is the first thing you need to do. In order to have something you don't have, you need to change something. And the first thing you need to change is your mindset, and everything else will follow. Which means if you catch yourself having negative thoughts, if you catch yourself in the habit of complaining, thinking negatively, oh, this is not gonna work, what am I gonna do with my life, not thinking productively, well, guess what? You need to replace those thoughts with positive ones. Otherwise, you're gonna stay in your place. People who changed their life were able to think outside of the box, were able to realize that in order for me to get to that level, I need to change what's in here. They encourage their mindset to think beyond average, to think outside of the box, to challenge their mentality. And that is how you can acquire things that are not accessible for the average person, by changing what's in here. And there are so many books you can read, but one of the books that actually is super good that I think could help you is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. This book is amazing. It has changed so many things in my life, you know, it made me think positively, and it's amazing. So I definitely recommend it. The next realization is that failure is a stepping stone to success. You need to realize that if you are going through a big obstacle right now, you call it failure. I don't like to call it failure. I feel like they're just like stepping stones, really. You know, you fall, you get up, you fall, you get up. No worries. Like, that's really not the problem. The problem is if you stay down there, is if you trip and you don't get up. Because I do believe that with every obstacle, there's a learning lesson, and if we don't have those lessons, then how are you meant to improve in your life? So you need to have the mindset that failure is not the end goal, it is just part of the journey. And when you do have that mindset, what tends to happen is that no matter what you go through, no matter what happens to you, you're gonna bounce back, because you know, okay, yeah, no worries, it's just there and I'm gonna get through it. Boom. And then you're gonna get through it. It's also, again, you see how mindset was the number one point? Because when you are going through adversity, you need to tell yourself, okay, it's a normal thing, you know? After every storm comes the rainbow, and I'll get back up and I'm gonna deal with it and I'm gonna be strong enough. The things, how your mind operates is extremely important. So make sure that whenever you are going through setbacks, instead of complaining about them, you learn from them and you bounce back. You make sure that you get up with perseverance and resilience. The next point is that you are not defined by your past. Look, it is pretty simple, and I know you've probably heard it before, but it's called the past for a reason, and that is because you can't change it. A lot of people spend a lot of time trying to think about what happened or what could have been, where it's literally right behind you. Why are you looking back? Do you ever see somebody driving a car looking at the rear mirror? No. And that is because you need to be looking forward in order to move on with your life. If, let's say, you've been through bad experiences, you need to understand that your past doesn't dictate your future. If, let's say, you failed that course, or you couldn't graduate, or you lost your business, whatever it may be, it doesn't mean that just because your business failed once that it's going to be failing again. It doesn't say anything about you. It just simply says that you had a bad experience and This needed to happen in order for you to learn from the mistakes you've made and bounce back again when you open a new one, or when you decide that you need to reinforce it. So when you understand that the past doesn't dictate your future, you're gonna be able to let go of regrets, you're gonna be able to forgive yourself, accept what happened, and move on. And by that, you're gonna help yourself focus on creating a better future. Because again, guys, it is in the lessons that we improve. It is in the lessons that life gives us that we become better humans. Otherwise, what's the point? Have you ever seen a good movie where there are no adversities? Never. It'll be such a bad movie with bad rating because it's just not worth listening to. How cool would it be if one day you made it and you had to sit there and tell all the people that are listening to you that I had to go through X, Y, and Z, and these things were extremely hard to go through, but I still went through them, I learned from them, and I was able to apply what I've learned into my future, and I was able to look forward and move on. Now the next point is your time is valuable. I had to learn this. So the thing about time is that it is the most valuable thing on earth because it can't be gained back. No money is worth time. Nothing can buy time. Time is priceless and it is a gift. So if you are breathing and you have hope in your lungs and you are living your life, make sure that you are using your time wisely. Because you're never gonna be able to get the same time, the same very moment again, ever. Let's say you're celebrating your 21st birthday. Guess what? You're never gonna be 21 again. You're never gonna be sitting at the same table, celebrating it with your family the same way you are right now. So the point is, if you are trying to get to a place that you wanna get to, make sure that you're using your time wisely, you know? Do what you gotta do, put in the work, and say no to all the invitations. I don't care if my friend tells me, let's go out. No, I'm not going out with you because I have priorities. I need to use my time wisely. And when eventually I get to have the lifestyle that I want and I get to a place that I want to get to, then maybe I'll be like, okay, I deserve to go out. I deserve to have this. Otherwise, there's really no point. Next point is that happiness is an inside job. And I can't stress this enough. In this society, people are telling you, oh, like be with a partner that's gonna make you happy. Make sure this person makes you happy. It's all about outsiders trying to bring in happiness. How about it's the opposite? Because that is the truth. Happiness should come from within. You need to be happy from within before anything. Your spouse isn't gonna make you happy. Your family isn't gonna make you happy. Your mom, your dad, your friends, nobody's gonna make you happy but you. You need to make yourself happy first, and then everything else will follow. But you can't be expecting other people to make you happy when you are internally unhappy person, you know? When you are not genuinely fulfilled. And this is why I always tell people, if you want happiness, you need to seek genuine fulfillment and peace. This is how you become internally happy. And how do you do that? You seek God, because God can give you that internal peace and fulfillment that you're looking for. Nothing. You will never ever have a fulfilled life if you don't surrender yourself to God. So always make sure that instead of seeking that happiness from other people, seek it from God and ask for internal peace and fulfillment, and He will grant you. In the Bible, it says, ask and you shall receive. So knock and you shall find. So make sure that you are doing these things. The next realization, which is super important, is that self-love is essential. When you embrace self-love, when you fully accept who you are internally, externally, whatever it may be, this isn't only gonna foster your relationship with others and obviously going to allow you to connect with other people in a better way, to become a better friend, a better sister, a better mother, a better daughter, but it is generally going to make you healthier because positive thoughts generate healthy feelings. I think that self-love and acceptance are crucial if you genuinely want to change your life. A lot of problems would be solved because of self-love. You're never gonna feel like you're competing with anyone because you're fully whole and you accept who you are, and you understand that when you walk into a room, it doesn't matter who's there. It doesn't matter what that other person has, but you don't. What matters is that you know who you are, and no matter who you come across, you're always gonna be genuine, you're always gonna be a real person that is gonna speak their truth. And this is the best thing. You know, in Hollywood, a lot of people sell their soul. I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but they literally sign a contract with the devil, and that is pretty much to say, I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do. The next point is, change is inevitable and growth is optional. Listen, the truth is, something is going to be happening in your life. Whether you move to a new place, whether you changed your job, whether you changed school, whatever it may be, something is going to change. Now, what you do with that change is going to determine what happens to you. Instead of being afraid of that change, embrace it and use it to your advantage. Now, you may be asking, how am I gonna use change into my advantage? Well, you embrace it as an opportunity for personal growth rather than resisting it out of fear, because fear keeps you stuck. Whereas if the change happened, let's say I had to move to Canada, right? A lot of things are gonna change for me. The weather is gonna be different, people around me, the food, everything is going to change for me. Now, instead of complaining about it, instead of fearing that change, and imagine also, not to mention, going to Canada is going to open up a lot of job opportunities. Now, instead of fearing that change, I'm welcoming it. Guess what? 2 years later, I'm gonna become stronger. I'm gonna become more social. I'm gonna learn new things. I've traveled to a country abroad that I've never been to, and I've met new people. It has opened so many opportunities for me. So you see, that change, instead of fearing it, I've accepted it and I've used it to my advantage, which is something every single person should do, no matter what. Whether good change, bad change, use it to your advantage. Be strategic with whatever happens to you. Because I generally believe every single change that happens in your life is for your own good. And if you can't see the good in it, guess what? You can use it to learn. There's always a learning experience from every single thing that happens to us. Now, the next thing would be, your health is a priority. And this sticks with me so much because I struggled with my health for a long time when I was growing up. And that is because I used to be addicted to chips. I used to love chocolate, and I would get dizzy just like going up the stairs. And I'm talking about, I was like 14, 13. Who does that? Like, it's like I'm living in a 14-year-old body, but deep down, what's going on in my body signifies that I am old. Here's the thing, right? I don't know if you've ever heard of that saying, you are what you eat. Now, the food you consume is generally going to impact your lifestyle, whether negatively or positively. You eat healthy food, you are gonna feel healthier, you're gonna look healthier. Obviously, when it comes down to eating healthy, you're gonna find yourself exercising, you know? Because like both of them going together. And when you genuinely decide to switch to that lifestyle, everything will change, even your thoughts. Like, do you know when, let's say you eat a cake, a chocolate cake, and then later on you find yourself lazy, you find yourself tired, you want to sleep, or sometimes you eat something and then later on you have like a brain fog, you can't think properly. That is because of the food you eat. And people wonder why they can't focus. Why? Because of the food you eat. So if you consume proper foods, then it's gonna change everything. It's a game changer. It was for me, at least. When I started eating healthy, when I started exercising, it changed my life. I became so much better in every single way. The next realization I had to make is that gratitude transforms your perspective. Understanding the power of gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what you have. And that is the best thing you can do to yourself, is be grateful for what you have. Because you're not gonna get anything from looking at other people's lives thinking that they have things that are better than you, which is probably true. They probably do have better things than you. They probably are living a better life than you. So instead of wasting your time looking at it in this perspective, what you need to be doing is you need to be focusing on how you can get there. Use it as inspiration and work towards it. And while doing that, realize and be grateful for what you have. Now, if you're genuinely not grateful for what you have, you better put in the work. Put in the work, but I always do believe that you should always be grateful for your health, for who you are as a person, for waking up early in the morning. Be grateful to God, because some people would rather be in your place. No matter how low you are, there's always somebody that would trade anything to be in your place. So always be grateful for what you have, because being ungrateful isn't really going to do anything. Complaining isn't really going to do anything but to bring you negative energy, which is a sticky energy that doesn't go away easily. So be careful, guys. Next up would be, you are the author of your own reality, after God, of course. And I'll tell you something, I'm a true believer that God is the main author of all our lives. He created us, He knows what's gonna happen, He knows everything. He's the author. It's God's plan, you know? Living your life as a human being, you are meant to trust God's plan. And while you are living your existence, you can use your free will to be asking God to direct you into the path that He wants for your life. You know, I genuinely believe if you want to be successful, and the best purposeful life you can have is when you surrender your life to God and when you ask for His will to be done in your life. This is how it works, you know, you ask for what you want from God and you tell Him, God, I put it in your hands, and I know that what's in your hands is good. And whatever happens, it is meant to be, and it is good for me, because your will is good, and what's in your hands is good, and I trust you. So this is key, guys. Genuinely, ask God for His will. Let His will be done. You know, it's not about our plan, it's about His plan. Next point is, success is a journey, not a destination. Acknowledging that success is a continuous process rather than a fixed endpoint. It encourages you to celebrate small wins, and it encourages you to stay motivated in pursuit of those goals. And I'll tell you why it is extremely important to have that mindset, to realize that success is genuinely the journey, because without those stepping stones, without that journey, you're never gonna get to where you want to get. And some people actually fall into the trap of believing that success is only when I get what I want to get. No, a lot of people get there and they're still empty. Why? Because they are depending their happiness on things instead of genuinely being happy while doing it. Guys, remember, the joy is in the journey. It can be hard to grasp, and it is easier said than done, because we as human beings always are looking and searching for the next big thing. We always want more. And that is why when a person has been working a long time to, let's say, get a big house, he gets the big house, he's okay, yeah, he's gonna be happy for a bit, but then in a while it's gonna get old and he wants something new, and he wants something new, he wants more money, more money. So same thing with a person that, let's say, invests and gets a lot of money and becomes rich. He wants more money. Like, the process never ends. It's, if you are always basing your happiness on an end goal, you're never gonna reach the end line. Wow, I should make that as my quote. Literally, the joy is in the journey. So let's say you are on your way to work. Instead of just driving around, you know, complaining or like not really caring, enjoy that drive to work. You're never gonna get this again, you know? Enjoy the journey while you are working out. Enjoy it. Even though it's painful, enjoy it, because through that pain is going to come a lot of rewards. You know, because of that pain, because of what you're going through, God is going to reward you, because this is life. Whatever you put in, you're gonna get. So you put in good, you put in hard work, you're gonna get something. And of course, so yeah, make sure that you do realize how important it is to be joyful in the journey. The next point I want to make is that connection with others is vital. And what I mean by that is that who you connect to, who you are surrounding yourself with, are going to determine a lot of things. It's first of all, it's going to highlight who you are. Have you ever heard of that saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with? So if you're hanging out with losers, you're technically gonna be a loser. Make sure all the connections you are making are positive. Make sure that who you associate yourself with brings you value, because you don't want to be wasting your time on pointless relationships. The last point I want to make is that your passion drives purpose. Realizing that pursuing your passions adds purpose to your life is going to motivate you to align your actions with your values. And obviously that is going to lead to a more fulfilling life. I believe that life will be so meaningless if you don't have a purpose behind what you're doing. Always make sure that what you're doing has a purpose, whether that is to inspire others, whether that is to bring awareness, to do something positive, whatever it may be. Make sure that there's always a purpose behind it. And yeah guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys learned something new. And yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.